What's up guys, welcome to a brand new video. In today's video we're going to have a look at the 10 biggest transfers we've had so far this summer. And as a quick disclaimer, it's not the top 10, it's just the 10 biggest. They are in no particular order, we're just listing up the 10 biggest transfers. You can decide down below in the comments which transfer you think is the biggest one out of them all. So without wasting any more time, let's get into the transfers. So to start the list off, we've got the 22-year-old Portuguese national player Bernardo Silva. So Man City has gone ahead and bought Bernardo Silva from AS Monaco for a total of 50 million euros. That's quite a lot of money, but I still think that this is a quite good transfer from City, because obviously they got a lot of money. We know that City are never in a bad economic situation, and as I said, he's only 22 years old. He had a great season with Monaco last year, and I think he has some great potential. Potentially could be one of the next superstars at City. As you can see on the screen, he's 5'8", so not the tallest player, but as a right midfielder, you don't always need to be that tall if you got a little bit more pace and if you got a good technique. And as I said, he had a great season with Monaco. And if we look at FIFA, he obviously got a lot of informs. He got a team of the season. If we look at it on the FIFA side, what his card will look like. Last year he didn't have that much pace, so I don't know if he would be that good in FIFA. But obviously, if he gets an upgrade, he will be good no matter what. Because I think he had like 79 pace last year, maybe. I don't really remember, or this year actually, FIFA 17. But if we look at it in real life, I think this is a great signing for City because, yeah, as I said, he's got some great potential. But what do you guys think of this signing? Comment down below and let me know. Okay, so the second signing of the video is going to be another Premier League signing, which, a little warning, there are going to be quite a lot of Premier League signings, but that's not what we're going to talk about now. We're going to talk about Keane. Michael Keane, the former Burnley player, has transferred to Everton for 24.23 million euros. Quite a specific number. I don't really know why they signed him for. Why they didn't just sign him for 24 million or 25 million, but they decided to go for that, and I don't blame him. I think it's quite a good signing. The reason why I think it's good is because he's quite cheap. Like, he had a good season with Burnley last season, but I don't know if it's going to be as good as last season this season. But for a Premier League club, 24 million is not too much, and he could turn out to be a great signing. He could be one of the best centre backs in the league next season, or it could just be a complete flop, and that's why I think it's good that they didn't overpay for him just because he had one good season. But as with Bernardo Silva, he's also quite young. He's 24, which obviously is not as young, but 24 for a centre back is still quite young. Centre backs and goalkeepers can play a lot longer than other players, so that's why I think 24 is still quite young for him. He's obviously a tall guy, 6'3". In FIFA, I don't think he's going to get that much used in Ultimate Team. Don't think, as he's still just a Premier League player. If he would have swapped from, for example, League 1 to Premier League, maybe he would have gotten used a little bit more. But as he was a Premier League player in FIFA 17, and not that many people used him, I don't think that he will get used that much unless he gets a nice upgrade. So the next transfer is, in my opinion, one of the best transfers or the best signings this summer, and it's Pepe, who went from obviously Real Madrid, as we all know. Besiktas assigned him, and the thing that makes this transfer so good is that Pepe's contract ran out, so Besiktas got him for completely free, which obviously he is a very good defender. So to get someone like Pepe completely free, that's never a bad deal. I think no club would say no to him for free. Obviously he's getting old, he's 34 years, but I still reckon that Besiktas maybe could have him. I don't know how long he signed the contract for, but 2 years more. I still think he will perform quite good in two more years. Then after that maybe he'll get a little bit worse, but But as I said, it doesn't matter how many years they can play him because he was after all free. So the only thing that they're gonna have to pay for him is obviously his contract. But they're getting a very good player for very, very cheap or free. And if we look at him, or if we look at this from a FIFA perspective, obviously I don't think he will get used that much because how many Turkish league teams do we see? I mean, I also think Pepe will get quite a big downgrade just because he went to the Super League. Maybe like 2 ratings, 3 ratings because he's getting so old. But yeah, I don't have anything more to say about him. Comment down below, what do you think about this? Would you like to get Pepe free to your club? Yes or no? Comment down below. Alright, so next up we've got another youngster who has switched club, and this time we've got Victor Lindelöf. Obviously Man United have signed him from Benfica for a massive 35 million. I haven't seen anything from Lindelöf, but obviously he's very young and a promising talent. He already plays in the Swedish national team. Not that that's the best team, but he still plays in that national team, and that's always a sign of that you're very good. And as I said, he used to play for Benfica. There are actually a lot of players who came from the Portuguese league in this video, so I don't know, we might see some signings to the Portuguese league after all these big players leaving. In my opinion, I think this is quite a good signing. He's obviously come to replace Smalling because Mourinho wants to have a very young squad. He's putting all his money on young players he doesn't want to sign. Apart from Ibra, he hasn't signed any older person, and he's come to replace Smalling. Maybe he won't be the best in the first season. I think it will take probably a season for him to get to know the Premier League, the play style. I think the coming years after that, when he will have learned to know the Premier League, he will be a very good centre back for United, and he will probably save them from conceding a lot of goals. But I think they maybe overpaid a little bit, but it's a Manchester club, they will also always overpay a little bit. So in my opinion, it's a good transfer, but not a great transfer. Next up we have the biggest transfer yet. It's the French striker Alexandre Lacazette, who has signed with Arsenal after leaving Olympique Lyon. And Arsenal have paid 53 million euros for Lacazette, which is a lot of money, but I think he's worth that. Arsenal are finally, or Wenger is finally spending some money after all these years of just buying cheap players. He has splashed the cash and bought a striker. He's not that young, he's 26 years old. He's not old, he's not young. I don't think he's in his prime yet, but he's getting very close to being at his prime. And he'll probably have like 4 years in his prime with Arsenal now, and then become a little bit worse, and Arsenal are probably going to sell him. But in my opinion, this is just the right thing for Arsenal to do. They haven't signed a big player for years now, and they really need a new striker, so I think this is a great move from Wenger. Obviously a bit expensive, but Arsenal should have a pretty good economy considering they haven't spent that much cash in the other transfer windows. But as I said, I would probably rate this one, and just because it's Arsenal, it's probably a 9 out of 10. One of the best things they could have done is to sign a good striker who will score goals for them. So next up we have the only goalkeeper on this list, and as you can see, it's another player who has left the Liga NOS and Benfica for the Premier League, and it's the Brazilian international Ederson. City have signed him for 40 million euros. He's only 23 years old, which for a goalkeeper is very, very young. I still think City are overpaying a little bit, but as I said, the Manchester clubs, they got so much money, they will always overspend. And in my opinion, I don't know, Bravo did have a bad season, but in the Confederations Cup he was just amazing, especially in that penalty shootout versus Portugal. So I don't know if they want to play Bravo now, but I guess with signing Ederson, they're pretty much saying that no, we don't want to play Bravo, we think it's shit. And in my opinion, quite a good move. 40 million euros is quite much, but considering if he fulfills his potential and gets as good as you would think he could get, because he's quite good already and he's that young, he will be a good signing. As always, he can flop, but I'm quite confident in that he will become a good signing and play with them for at least like 5 more years or something. But depending on how long he will stay, I think it's quite a good signing if he stays over 5 years and it's good for him. Next up, we have the second player that hasn't come to the Premier League. It's Corentin Tolisso, the French centre midfielder who has gone from Lyon to Bayern Munich for 41.5 million euros. For Bayern Munich, that's very much money. It's in fact their record signing, or it's their most expensive signing that I've ever done. So there's quite a lot of pressure on him performing, but I'm quite confident in that he will have a good season with them, or he will have a good career at Bayern, not only one season. Because obviously he's only 22 years old, so he's got some great potential. And as I said, he had a very good season at Lyon. So in my opinion, this is probably quite a good signing for Bayern Munich. It's the most expensive ever, but obviously Bayern Munich do not usually spend that much money. 41 million isn't that much for a Bundesliga club. It's quite much, in my opinion. Even though it costs quite much, I think this is a good signing for Bayern, as Alonso has just retired and he will probably take his spot, and I'm quite confident that he will play at least as good as Alonso, if not better. So in my opinion, as I said, this is a very good signing. Next up, we have another record signing. It's Mohammed Salah, who Liverpool have signed from Roma. They signed the Egyptian for 42 million euros. He is a right winger, so obviously they have Mane, and I don't think they will drop Mane. So what I think they will do is they will either put Mane or Salah as a left winger, and then they will take Coutinho back down as a cam and use Sturridge or Firmino as a striker. That's what I think they were going to do. That they were going to have. He's 25 years old, so just like I said, he's not young, but he's also not old. He's probably getting into his prime years as a player. But in my opinion, at first I thought it was a bit of a questionable signing for Liverpool, because obviously he's a very good player. That's not what I'm questioning. I was questioning, why do they need another attacker? But if they put Coutinho back as a cam, it all makes sense. But we'll have to wait and see till the new season starts what position he will have. Probably left or right winger, that's my guess at least. One of the clubs that have done the most business this summer and signed the most players is AC Milan. And in my opinion, is this the biggest transfer they've done. They have signed the 21-year-old Portuguese striker André Silva from Porto for 32.3 million euros. And in my opinion, this is a very good signing from AC Milan. As I said, they have done quite a lot of business, and it seems like they are almost getting a completely new squad. And I think they could need that, because obviously they haven't really been battling for the title. He's the most expensive player that AC Milan has signed this season, and in my opinion, it was the right thing to do, to sign a new striker. He's obviously very young, has a lot of potential, had a good season at Porto. I think he will score a lot of goals next season. So in my opinion, AC Milan needed some new players, and this is one of the best players that they've signed. So in my opinion, it's a very good signing from AC Milan. He wasn't too expensive either, and for that money, I think it was worth it. So the last transfer that we got is also the most expensive transfer, and arguably the biggest transfer. It's Lukaku, who has joined Manchester United. This was quite a shock. He was almost done to go to Chelsea, and then just like that, he signed for United. From out of nowhere, he signed for United for 84.7 million euros. United really like to spend money. As Ibra was leaving, they needed a new striker, and Lukaku was one of the best strikers in the league last year, so obviously he's going to be good for them this year. The question is he worth 84.7 million euros? In my opinion, no, he's not yet. He's only 24 years old. He might become worth that in a couple of years. But I still can't say that it's a bad signing because, as we know, United's bank account is absolutely massive. So for them, it's just if it's a good player or if it's a bad player. And Lukaku is obviously a very good player. Still quite young, big striker, physical, very beastly. He will probably be a good contender for the Golden Boot next season. I don't think the sign is worth it, but I think he will be great for United. So I think the signing that we've ended it off with is a good signing.
Fight!
Okay, so I just said that Lukaku was the last signing, but no, he wasn't. This is going to be the 11 biggest signings this summer, because as I'm making this video, Bayern Munich have just gone out and said that they've signed James Rodriguez, the Colombian superstar, on loan from Real Madrid for 2 years. In my opinion, this is a great signing from Bayern Munich. A big shock as well. From out of nowhere, they just said that they've signed him, and as I said, it's only a loan, but they will obviously be able to buy him off Real Madrid when the loan has ended if they want to. I think it's a good signing. He's obviously haven't gotten that much game time at Real Madrid. He's mostly been on the bench, and he's 25 years old, so he's not that young anymore. He's not old, but still not that young as he was in the World Cup. And I think it's good that he went to Bayern Munich, so he'll get some game time. I think he will perform good, and then Bayern Munich will obviously buy him if he performs good, if they want to have him. So in my opinion, this is a game changer, and I probably think now that Bayern Munich have done the best transfer business so far this window, because they have gotten a lot of players. Now Rodriguez, and they haven't even spent that much money. So I think that this is a really good signing. Bayern Munich are starting to get quite many central midfielders, but I still think I think they will rotate their midfield quite a lot next season, because they got so many players in that position. But yeah, another shock transfer for you. That is the last transfer. I'm not gonna shock you again. That is the last transfer. So if you're new around here and you want to see more of me, please subscribe. And if you enjoy this video, drop a like and comment down below, in your opinion, which is the best transfer so far this summer. But that was all for this video, so see ya!